If you stumbled across this video, perhaps you saw the title and thought, Fashion Dreamer? I remember seeing that from the latest Nintendo Direct. What the heck was that? Perhaps you searched for more information on this video game and its legacy of your own volition, desperately searching for even one person to talk about it. Personally, I haven't seen anyone talking about this particular phenomenon occurring in the gaming sphere. No matter who you are and why you decided to click on this video, thank you for listening. Let me take you to the Nintendo store in New York City. If you weren't aware, each time there is a new Nintendo Direct, the store projects the live stream on the greatest wall of the building for all New York fans to gather and watch together in excitement. A sea of anxious gamers huddle together in anticipation for the next reveal. It's a free event, hosted by Nintendo themselves, a moment meant to be a gathering place of solidarity for everyone who calls themselves a gamer. That is, until the moment the word fashion is uttered through the speaker, and a wave of could be heard echoing throughout the room. Heads are turned in the opposite direction of the screen, eyes downturned, attention glued to their cell phones, not giving the screen another look until the next jingle of announcements moves through. Overall public reception of the announcement for Fashion Dreamer, the latest game to be released by Japanese company Sin Sophia, has been mixed. You have your average excited fan towards the announcement. There are those who only became excited once feelings of nostalgia were evoked by the resemblance of a game they once played as a child, a game once called Style Savvy, or perhaps Fashion Boutique if you live in Europe. And there exists the large majority of reactors brushing the game off at first glance, or remaining indifferent entirely. I fear the silent negativity surrounding this title will doom it before it even has a chance to release. Not everyone needs to like Fashion Dreamer. I don't need you to join its minimal cult following or anything like that. I would understand someone's disappointment in this game, especially considering it seems from the trailers we have seen so far, the game still lacks inclusive body types even in 2023. Despite the greater portion of the style-savvy fanbase in the Western world having inclusive body types high on their wish lists for the next entry in the series, the Asian body standard strikes again with the force of Thor's hammer. Us longtime fans of the series are as disappointed as you are. With the new concept of the intersection between fashion, social media, and influencers, I will not be satisfied with Fashion Dreamer if it does not take the opportunity to properly explore the implications of that. I realize this formula further perpetuates the societal expectation of engaging in fashion in order to fit in, or to even be accepted. I understand the frustration gamers uninterested in fashion feel, as they too have been rejected by society. Despite these gamers sharing in that experience of being discredited from a societal perspective, this game isn't even given the time of day due to an innate aversion towards feminine concepts and themes in video games. It is misogyny manifest, as if video games themselves are, at their core, something that should not be feminine. When are we as a society going to stop tossing aside a video game simply because it is feminine?
This is what your sister plays, okay? This game was made for your sister, okay? This is an anti-game, okay? No. No.
What makes something a video game? More specifically, what makes something a video game that's worth playing? Who gets to decide what game has worth? Your sister, or perhaps your brother, your sibling in general, may have been waiting for a game to come along that represents them. A game that opens the doors to a world where they can exercise their creativity. They can revel in their passion for clothes, expressing themselves through clothing in a space where they are free to wear whatever they want, however they want, whether that be alternative fashion or not, and share that love with their world. In this world, they don't really have to worry about societal judgment, environmental damage, let alone monetary limitations. They're building businesses from the ground up. They're meeting and connecting with their communities. They're crafting their own brand catered specifically to their own growing sense of aesthetic and color. They're enjoying their one shot at an escape from all of the expectations, unpredictability, and chaos that comes with today's idea of life. As a feminine person, they've been given one full-fledged title on the Nintendo Switch that fills that void inside of them that has gone far underrepresented in the masculine-dominant world of gaming. And the average gamer has the audacity to want to rip that 90-second time slot away from them, so they can see another masculine game that they receive hundreds of copies of each year. I have to ask, is it a crime for people who are feminine to enjoy gaming too? To my dismay, the only examples of positive or even neutral reactions to the Fashion Dreamer announcement I've seen circling around online are from influencers that identify as women. Thus, humanity is male, and man defines woman not in herself, but as relative to him. She is not regarded as an autonomous being. She is defined and differentiated with reference to man, and not he with reference to her. She is the incidental, the inessential as opposed to the essential. He is the subject, he is the absolute. She is the other. Simone de Beauvoir. Gaming is for everyone. Video games are video games. It doesn't matter what form they take or what the contents of them are. People should be allowed to enjoy a game called Fashion Dreamer if they want to. A large part of this ingrained aversion to feminine-leaning games is likely thanks to the stereotype that these kinds of games are either only a few seconds worth of content in a web browser dress-up game, or a mobile game that manipulates players into purchasing large amounts of in-game currency to gamble on limited items. I want to try to enlighten all the gamers out there that believe Fashion Dreamer and Style Savvy are games such as these. You are sorely misunderstood. Each DLC that has been released for Style Savvy in the past has been 100% free. You could download additional content as it released, including collaboration items with Animal Crossing and Splatoon, as well as seasonal Japan-only DLC at no extra cost. Furthermore, this series has a gameplay loop that offers the players such an extensive list of options, well over 1,000 items, for creating ensembles for all different kinds of people, with all different kinds of unique requests. I pray this pool of people players can assist only grows with the next entry. There is a staggeringly low ratio of feminine-leaning games in the gaming industry in comparison to masculine games. To extend, there is a staggeringly low number of feminine video games that properly represent everyone, not just women. Not only this, but the intricacies of the fashion industry as a whole is a virtually entirely untapped area of interest represented within gaming. If you too want to see more than just the masculine world explored through the gaming medium, join me in my fight for widespread representation of femininity. Please don't immediately avert your eyes when the next Fashion Dreamer trailer is released. And if it at all sparks your interest, please support this video game to show companies that feminine gamers value proper representation. Also, please support feminine indie games that aren't afraid to be inclusive and tackle taboo topics regarding the fashion industry. Let's build a world together where everyone can enjoy great video games. If you liked this video, like and subscribe. Also leave a comment. Let me know what I missed. Let me know what you'd like to add to the conversation. I always want to learn more from you guys, and I want your voices to be heard. Here are some comments from my previous Fashion Dreamer video that I'd like to highlight. As always, have a beautiful day everyone, and remember that you matter. Good day!